Today I'm going to review how my rosemary topiaries are doing. Stay tuned, and I'll do that right now. Spring is a perfect time to start your own rosemary topiary. You can get these little starter plants relatively cheap from the produce section in your grocery store. So last summer I grew rosemary from seed, and I had a couple of stragglers, and I decided to take them and pot them up as topiaries, and I did some pruning on them, and I overwintered them in my house. I moved them in the house about October. The problem with moving rosemary indoors, if it's been outdoors, is it has a fungus that kind of sits on the leaves. And I had to spray it with some peroxide solution, like peroxide water, to be able to keep it from completely dying, but I did lose the tops. So we're going to zoom in and I'm going to go through that. Since growing rosemary from seed can be quite tricky, I tend to overwater things and kill it because it doesn't like to have a lot of water. When I was at the grocery store this week, I saw they had rosemary in containers, and just in like the produce section, and I thought, what a great way to show folks, to get it to the point that they're already, so what is this, 10 inches tall maybe, to give people a chance to try this themselves without having to grow it from seed, and you avert that problem. These were likely grown in greenhouses, and it's been in a store, so it's not going to have the same fungus problems, although I still will probably spray it. So I'm going to show you how to start from a cheap grocery store plant to try your own rosemary topiary. So I'm going to zoom us in, and we're going to take a closer look. So one of the first things that you want to do is, whatever snips you're going to use or scissors, is you want to sterilize them. And I always have a bottle of rubbing alcohol and just a little container to be able to do that. So first thing I'm going to do is just sterilize my pruner. This is a nice little snip. It's one of my favorite ones. I'll actually link it in the description below. So let's take a look at the first one. So these were growing wonderfully, and then the top, you could see how this, let's see if this zooms in, you could see how this is kind of dried up. That's that fungus that comes in and tries to kill them. So the good news is even though that the top died and I broke it off because it was dead, you could see that it started creating new shoots down below, which is fine. If I lose the top, I could always use this. I can always trim this piece off and try to root it and start another rosemary, which I may do actually, which they root pretty easy in water. And then, or I could leave it just in case this stem dies all the way back, and then I simply would train this one to go up. I'm probably going to cut this one off. I'm going to pick this apart for right now. Let me just pull some of the dead stuff by hand if I can. Yeah, this top is pretty, hopefully you can see it. This top is pretty dried up, which is okay. No worries. So we're going to pull the dead stuff off for now. Whenever you're trying to do a topiary, if you trim the very top or the terminal leader on whatever you're doing, it will truncate the growth, and then it will start to bush out below, which is what you've seen happen here. So the central leader died, and these buds down here decided to take off. So that's that one for right now. Let's take a look at this one. This one's looking much healthier, although I had the same problem where it did kind of die. And what I could do is I could, if I'm happy with the height of this, which I kind of am actually, I can just leave it. And then I'll trim this little one off down here. And I'll restructure this. This is actually pretty strong at the top, so you could see how this could create a great big ball here. So I'm probably going to maybe I'll snip just the top of this again to get some bud back, growth going. As soon as you snip it, that's what will happen. I'm going to snip this one off. And then I'm just going to prune this one off just part way. I think I might leave that one right now. We are just starting our growth season, so this is likely to bush out pretty good for me. So I'm just going to do that much for right now, and we're going to wait. This will continue to grow, and you can kind of already see that it'll be a nice growth habit. Will be round on it, or what they call standard form is a lollipop. The lollipop topiaries are also what they call standard form. So we're just going to let that do its thing. And I will come out maybe when we get to May, and I'll do some more pruning on it. You want to remove all of the growth coming up the stem to maintain that lollipop form. This one, I'm actually going to take the support off it and see what it looks like if I do that. The new growth is quite, oh, look at that. Maybe it's going to stand on its own. Oh, look at that. Yay. Look at that. Yeah, so I trained it. Now it's nice and strong. Woo, look at that. That makes me really happy. So I think this growth will continue to grow. So I'm going to probably take this one off. We're going to try to get this section to continue. I suppose you could technically make a small ball down here and get another terminal growth going up there. Decisions. Maybe let's do that. Let's cut this one off and we'll nip this one to try to create another ball. So maybe we have a 2-ball. I really want this to grow taller. And during the summer growth season, it's going to take off like crazy. So let's do that. Let's cut this one down. I'll cut it back like this. Just going to cut it down in half. I'm going to nip this one. And by nipping them, it's going to create, trigger the growth hormones in the other areas to put more buds on it. Actually will help it grow. We really want this one to become strong. Hopefully it will take off. What if I cut this one just a little bit? Just cut it just a little bit. Maybe it'll help these other areas take off. Look at how strong that is. That makes me really happy. And my next one is my new rosemary. Now technically, if I wanted it to be just a standard, I would pick the straightest. I would find a central leader, maybe this one that's central to the plant, and I would leave that one. But I'm thinking I might try to do 2 of them, and then I could always remove one. I got 2 pretty strong ones. So once again, I'm going to take these other limbs off. So we're going to go in pretty tight to the plant, and I'm just going to snip. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Snip these little branches off that I don't want there. Again, all of these can be rooted in water, so there's no waste, or you could make something delicious. I like roasting vegetables with rosemary. Tell me in the comments, what's your favorite dish to use rosemary on? I'd like to know. Carrots are always really good. Squash. Meat, you know, if you're going to do certain things. All right, so now we kind of got the branches out of there that I don't want. And now what we're going to do is strip these lower leaves without kinking the main stem. That's the trick. So I'm going to go in here. I don't know if I can take it by hand or not. I don't want to kink it. So I'm just going to go very gently, just lay the little snips on top of the stem and just give it a haircut. Again, not cutting into the stem. You're just trying to get these little pieces. You want to strip them down, and that will help put the plant to put energy at the top. It can be a little tedious, or it can be good ASMR, depending on what your interests are. So here we go. And I don't know exactly which, there's different types of rosemary, but I'm in zone 4. So rosemary is not hardy to my zone. I think I'm off by maybe only 1 zone for some of the varieties of rosemary, as it's very much a Mediterranean plant. When I get done with all of this stuff, I'll put these in the house. Just don't want to cut off my branch. I'll be very careful. I want to get all the way up to the top of this thing. Get all these little pieces. Probably should put a good plate underneath it, because I could have taken it in and used it instead of letting it drop in the dirt. But here we are. I'm just going to continue to trim them. Yeah, rosemary is such a great plant. It smells really good. I can use it in so many dishes. I know when I start cooking Italian too, it just smells wonderful. Let's see if I can do this without cutting those. You want to make sure, I'll try to zoom in here so you can see. You want to make sure when you're trimming that you don't cut into the stem. So I'll try to see if I can show this, if the camera will work. So there's a little raised area right here. You don't want to cut into that because there's growth hormone in those, and you don't want to damage it because that is your disaster recovery. If the top dies, you want that to be able to create another shoot like I showed you on the first sets of rosemary for my first topiaries. I think that's pretty good. And I think I'm just going to put this in my windowsill. They tend to do pretty good in my windowsill in the kitchen. It's a warmer environment for them. There, you can see where I didn't cut into the stem. So that's what I'm left with. And I'd like to see how tall I can get this. So if you have any problems, I'll try to get these pieces out of there. If you have any problems and you're worried about these branches breaking off, then you can get something like just a skewer like this and put this in the soil and attach it to something you've got on hand. I've got these little hair clips. You can use lots of different things to attach it though. And this is just to give it a little bit of extra support in case I do something silly and knock it over. Not that I'd ever do that. Okay. I'm just going to try to get it all done. So these are this is beautiful. I was thinking about this the other day. I thought, what a great idea to show somebody how to start. It's simple, it's cheap, a couple bucks maybe for the plant, to try your own topiary. So that was kind of fun. Hopefully, if you follow my channel, you can go back and check out the other videos that I did last. Although this video is a 2-in-1 where I showed you how to do both if you have a little plant and you don't have to struggle like I did growing it from seed. If this video is helpful, give us a thumbs up so YouTube knows to share this content with others. Also consider subscribing so you don't miss any of our other great videos. If you like propagation videos, check this playlist next. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.